Hey, happy Sunday. It's a beautiful warm day here in the Northeast in the Pittsburgh area. So after yesterday's ice cold weather, I figured I'd get out and experience the air and go for a little jog, a little run. And I wanted to share some solutions and some of the challenges that people have been having to some of the things we've been discussing over the last few days. And one of the issues that people have asked me a lot was, Ellie, like it's very nice that I have tension. Of course, I get tension and I get stress and so on and so forth, but that's not the physical pain. I mean, if my back hurts, there's something wrong with my back, right? Like must be a pulled muscle or a bulging disc, or if something's wrong with my head, like a migraine, it must be something wrong with my brain. There's always something wrong with me, right? There's something physically wrong. And so this idea of tension causing it's very nice, but how does that help me? Like, to know that is nice, but I can't stop tension. It's never going to just go away forever. And it seems really an impossible feat to try to overcome. And the truth is, it's a very, very good point. It's a very, very good question. And what's misunderstood, really, is how physical pain is actually caused. Snow needs to break, right? The tree needs to break because it's but over here where I live, there's lots of snow and trees. At some point, the tree has to break. Where does it break? It doesn't break where the most snow is. It breaks at the weakest link. So what happens is with our body is that when our body feels this internal tension within us, this constant tension build up within us, what happens is at some point it can't handle it anymore. It needs to stop it. It needs to just enough. This is overwhelming. We're telling it that we can't handle it, and the tension keeps coming. Let me give you an example, okay? I'll tell you a real life story that happened just yesterday. So I had a client who called me crazy. He's a big entrepreneur, and he's heading off to a business conference this week, and he's overwhelmed because his shoulder is killing him. He has shoulder pain. He doesn't know where it came from, but it's overwhelming, and it's just he can't lift his arm, and it's just overbearing. And he doesn't know where the pain just started. Maybe he pulled a muscle, maybe he pulled a groin. He doesn't know what happened. So we're talking this for a while, and I asked him. I said, if I wasn't aware of his upcoming week, and I asked him, assuming you didn't have this pain, right? Assuming the pain wasn't there in your shoulder, what would you be dealing with right now? He goes, oh my God, I have so much to prepare for. I am swamped. My brain is clogged with hundreds of things to think for the week ahead. I have customers, and it's no end. This week is very, very stressful. And I said, okay, so what's the pain doing for you? Well, the pain is now I got to deal with the pain. I got no choice. I'm of course. So what's happening is within our psyche, within our system, our brain knows at some point it's overwhelming. We can't handle this overwhelming tension. So the brain says, you know what? Let's shut it down. Let's shut it down. And we get pain. We get pain in our shoulder. We get pain in our head. We get pain in our back. Guess what? At that point, all those thoughts are out the window. They're gone. Because suddenly we got nothing to deal with but the pain. And in some sense, the pain is helping us. The pain is helping us. Now, you say, well, there's something wrong with my back. It's not. Of course there's something wrong with your back, but not every little bump in your back has to cause you pain. Just because your head's a little weak doesn't have to give you a booming migraine. Just because your shoulder has a little bit of a bump in the inside of your tendon doesn't have to give you pain. It's just not the reality. I mean, if you took an X-ray or MRI of your body right now, you'd find hundreds of bumps and bruises and everything, and they're not causing you pain. So the connection between pain and the bruise and the bump is not necessarily the perfect correlation. So in truth, the pain comes when yes, there's a weak link there. There may be something wrong, but that thing that's wrong is not the cause. It's not the reason why the pain started in the first place. And the pain is often started because we have this built-up intention. And so it's really what we need to do is we need to find a way to, the second we get this physical pain, we need to find a way to shift our brain. We need to shift our brain back to the inside tension. Instead of focusing on all the physical problems we have with ourselves, right? The fact that our leg is hurting us, or our mind is hurting us, our brain is hurting us, or our back, or instead of focusing on all those physical things, what we need to do is we need to focus on bring it back to the inside, getting back to the inside, back to the inner tension. And when we get back to the inner tension, then we can actually deal with what the real source of the problem is, right? The source of the problem is not our back. I mean, we can go get back surgeries and what I've seen in some of these situations, which is so sad, is that the pain just keeps traveling. We solve one problem, it goes somewhere else. And it keeps going from physical thing to physical thing because so often medical science treats the symptoms. It doesn't treat the source of the pain. And so the real solution to all this is really to go back inside our brain and solve it. And once we go back into our brain, Now, it's not easy. It's really hard. And the reason why it's really hard is not because it's hard to get inside our brain. That's easy. It's because we need practice. Like often, most of the time, we wait until the pain is overwhelming. Like we don't take any preventive medicine, God forbid. No way, no preventive medicine. Let's wait until we have a real problem, and then we want to find an instant solution. And then it's really hard. It's really, really hard. And at that point, to try to take your brain away from the physical pain that it's been trained to focus on and go inside, it's really, really hard. It can be done. Of course it can be done. I work with people every day to help them get inside. But at that point, it's a shame because a little bit of focus work before, a little practice before, if we get our brain to start practicing that when there's a problem, we go inside, it's not outside, it's actually, as soon as we have a real pain, it's actually very easy to slip back into it. We can go into a mantra, we bring up old memories, and it's actually really, really easy to go back into that habit of getting rid of it. And the truth is, once we learn this basic mantra of going inside, we actually avoid the pain entirely. And no one's perfect. You're going to get pain. You get a headache. You get a backache. But once you know how to overcome it, you know how to go inside. You understand the system how to do it. It's easy because every time it happens, it's like calling up an Advil, but use a mental Advil. You just go, oh, okay, I know how to deal with this, and you go inside and you look inside yourself and you figure out what the issue is. You diagnose it and you solve it within 3-4 minutes, and it's done. And the pain is gone. And it sounds crazy. It sounds absurd. But I see this every day because the client that we dealt with yesterday, he's off to this conference tomorrow, and his shoulder pain is gone. It just happens consistently. Back spasms and nerves, and the amount of pain is endless. But again, it's all almost a symptom of what's going on the inside. And it sounds crazy, but I'll give you this little graph that I wrote up here. Like imagine this, right? So that's our inner tension. That's our inner body. And when it shoots out into our physical body, which is almost a mirror of our inner self, it can shoot out in our leg, in our head, in our back. It doesn't make a difference where. It's indiscriminate. It's just going to go where the weakest link is, right? If you have a weak shoulder, then it's going to go into your weak shoulder, right? If you have if let's say I've been running for a few weeks, then and have a sore leg, suddenly boom, my leg is going to blow up. It's like there's going to be pain. It's going to be unbearable. I'm not going to focus. I can't work. As if somehow I did an injury. Baloney, injury. I mean, yeah, if I do an MRI, I can discover something torn and something messed up and so on and so forth. But you know what? I would never tell someone to go against medical science. Often I would go to my doctor years back and I would go to him and say, hey, look at my knee, right? It really hurts. But if I run on it anyway, is that okay? He goes, sure. If there's no pain, knock yourself out. So I realized again, the problem is the pain. They're not treating the bump. There was a bump in my knee. There's something torn in my knee, but that doesn't bother them, right? That isn't the issue. That isn't what the doctor is really trying to help me with. What they're trying to help me with is the pain. And so if I can get rid of the pain myself, then they're happy. Everyone's happy. Home run. So I realized, oh my Lord, this is crazy. We can get rid of this. And the pain keeps going to my weakest link. Wherever the weak link is, that's where the pain goes to. So I hope this gives you a little bit of information again of how to summarize. Ultimately, the tension comes, pain is caused by tension, a buildup of tension. It's overwhelming and it's threatening to explode. We can't handle it anymore. There's so much we can handle. At that point, our switchboard, our control system says, uh-oh, this is trouble. And, like you almost imagine like 3 little guys hanging inside my system saying, uh-oh, Ellie's about to explode. Let's shut him down. And let's give me pain. To give me pain, back pain, knee pain, and they knock me down. At that point, all those tension thoughts are out the window because now I'm physically dealing with my pain, with my emotion. And the emotion is gone. Like suddenly I'm on my back and I can't function. I can't move. I can't think about work. Forget about it. I don't think about work. I don't think about family, nothing. I can get to be the boohoo, right? Like almost like they call the man cold, right? It's like I get everyone running around me and they get to deal with me and I get treated like a king. It's awesome. So I want to be sick. I want to have a physical problem. And because if I get rid of the physical problem, I got to go face my fears again and all my challenges and all that stress I was dealing with an hour ago. So the truth is, again, the physical pain is masking all that tension. So the body is somewhat doing me a favor. And so the trick is, again, the way to deal with this is to, whenever time we get a physical pain, to go inside. It's almost like to do it inside out. If you could fathom that concept, to go inside and figure out what is causing this pain, what is this tension. And a good thing that I tell my clients across the board always is just, again, think about what you would be doing right now if you didn't have this pain. What would you be doing? How would you be dealing with it? What would you be doing in your life if you didn't have this pain? Often they'll say, oh my God, there's so much I could do. But yeah, but tell me what kind of stresses or what kind of things that you don't like, what kind of uncomfortable feelings, what kind of things that you really don't like doing, what are those things that you would have to be doing right now if you didn't have the pain? And as soon as you figure out what that is, then it's obvious. I mean, it's always very, very clear. At that point, you're off to the races. Now we just have to figure out how to change that and tweak that and adjust that, and life can be wonderful. So anyway, have an awesome day and live pain-free.